Well, hello, TLP family. Welcome to the Members Only Chat Show. It's been another day, another signing, but today we're covering the very top end of last year's championship. Welcome to your Members Only Champ Chat. Let's get this ball rolling. Howdy, boys.
How we doing?
Oh, and we've already got a new member, Steve. Welcome.
Steve.
There you go. Welcome, Steve. Where are you from? So let's find out. Well, today, boys, here we go. We have Coventry. We have 5th and 3rd in last year's championship table because the 4th team got promoted, and Sheffield United were very happy about that. Obviously not. And we have the first of the relegated teams today, Southampton. So we have Coventry, Sheffield United, and Southampton today. How are you feeling, guys? How are you feeling about this now?
Good. We're getting there. We're getting close to the team.
Yeah, I see you, Paddy. You and Josh had John shaking in his boots earlier today. Our latest signing. He looks like he's running scared now.
John needs to let us relax and enjoy our fantasies.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they're favourites to win it. We all know that. You know, I mean, if they don't win it, it's been a failure. But, you know, we're going to have a run, I think. We're going to have a bit of a run at some teams now.
Yeah, we're definitely getting close to a playoff chasing team, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think we're getting real close to being where I can't remember which show it was on, but when we were all talking about where we wanted to finish, or what we thought would be a good season, and I said ahead of Swansea and our best finish in club history. That's what I think we should be aiming for this season, and I think we're getting real close to having a team that can do that. So if I remember correctly, I think our top finish ever was 15th in the championship, and then if we do that and then finish as the top team in Wales, I think those are 2 achievable targets, and I think we're getting real close to having a team that can do that.
I agree. I think that's definitely achievable, and I think Parky and the coaching squad and the owner, the management, everybody have higher aspirations than that.
I think they probably do. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty fair thing to say, and that's great to see.
Yeah.
So, well, today, really interesting, actually, you know, because I've got Coventry. Who's got Sheffield United out of you two boys?
Me.
Paddy. So Aaron's got the demoted Prem team.
Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton. And interestingly enough, I mean, obviously, you know, the whole YouTube community is all out there. And I do watch Matt SB and his sister from time to time, not religiously, but I do know that they are Coventry supporters, and I got them today, and I've done my deep dive and done my homework, and so it's going to be very interesting. So it'll be, you know, he might fact check me at some stage. That's all good, but here we go, you know, and Hip Karma is throwing it out there. There we go.
I mean, that's a fair comment. That is absolutely a fair comment.
Yeah, absolutely. Already best manager ever. For Wrexham.
Yeah. I think a lot of people already agree with that. But if you want to be truly cemented, at the moment, there is still discussion.
I would say
if you want to get 90+% of people, 95%
right,
actually say
without
question, it's probably not absolutely cemented.
I think if you're going to argue against it, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but to play devil's advocate, to argue against it, I would say he's had the means to do what he's done, where other managers in the past didn't. We didn't have the money. We didn't have, you know what I mean? We weren't the top spending team in the leagues that we were in. And so they were kind of hitting above their level where, you know, at least some of these in the National League, and I'd say League Two, he was probably, they should have been getting promoted in those seasons. I think that's fair to say. I think the League One one wasn't, you know, I think there were other teams that were competitive with us. Like it wasn't a foregone conclusion that we were getting promoted last season. So yeah,
we know that you have your opinion, Hipkama, and that's absolutely fine. And I think that's a fair comment. And I would also say, Aaron, to that point, is it being a good manager to put yourself in that position at the right time with the right owners that give you the opportunity?
Hey, I mean, he definitely had a decision to make. Think about it. He dropped down where I think his last job was in League One. I think he was in Sunderland in League One.
Yeah.
Dropped all the way down to the National League, and that's a risk because if it's out, he's likely not getting another EFL job.
No, and this is the one stumbling block that Parky's had is getting from the champ to the Prem. And to be fair to him, he hasn't had the resources to do it. So I don't put that on him. Like he was with clubs that didn't have the money to back him and his campaign. And now he does.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, why don't we jump straight into it, eh?
Let's do it.
I'm away. Coventry City. I'm up first. I get to get it done and get out of the way and then sit back, relax, and enjoy the boys. So, founded in 13th of August, 1883, and we're formed as Singers FC, which was named after the Singers Gentlemen's Club. Isn't that very English? That was their original name back in 1883. Then they were changed to Coventry in 1898, and they were in the Southern League, promoted to the Southern League 1908, and then to the Football League in 1919. So they originally started at Highfield Road, and they were there for 106 years, from 1899 to 2005. And then from 2005, they switched over to what is now known as the Coventry Building Society Arena, which was formerly the Ricoh Arena. And it holds a capacity of 32,609 people. And it is located, let's call it 100 miles. It's 99 miles, a little bit south and east of Wrexham. You got to travel basically through Birmingham. It's sitting just east of Birmingham, Coventry. So it's just under a 2-hour drive. So I'd say they'll be bussing it to that game. Yeah. Their manager is very well known, Frank Lampard. Ooh. So, he had a good playing career. He also he started his management career Derby County, then Chelsea, then Everton, then back to Chelsea, and now he's settled in last year here at Coventry City. I think he had 29 games last season with Coventry from memory. They are perennially, well, I've always thought of them as perennially a championship team, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let's cover it now. So they've literally spent the last 5 years in the championship. Before that, they had 2 years in League One where they actually did win League One. They spent 2 years there. They were 8th and 1st, but prior to that, they came out of their League Two year where, I tell you what, they were a bit lucky to get out of that because they finished 6th that year in the league, but then managed to get promotion through the playoffs. So then prior to that, they had 5 years back in League One, and prior to that, 2 years in the championship. So when I look at, 2, 7, 8, 10, 15 years, of those 15 years, they've only had just under half of that, 7 years in the championship. So they've only spent the last 5 years back in the championship. But, I think of them definitely as a championship quality team. I don't know. What do you boys think of that?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And obviously had aspirations to try and go up last season, and did that push with Frank Lampard in the back half of the season. Didn't quite get across the finish line. Obviously finished 5th in the league. And we all know how tight last year's championship playoff race was. So they only got there right at the very death, but then failed at the first hurdle in the playoffs because we all know that Sunderland beat Sheffield United in the final. And then in terms of transfer news for them, They have a right midfielder in Kessler Hayden they signed this offseason, and a left back in Angel Brow. But they have also signed on loan from Brighton, Carl Rushworth, who's a keeper, and there's questions there about whether he's going to be their starting keeper or not. And probably will be, but it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, I would think he would be. He's young, but he's a really good keeper.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, so it is very interesting for them in terms of where they're going to be, and I mean, their most successful years really were they had Mark Robbins as their manager. And, now he is obviously not there. He's with Stoke now. So, but I think that, they're literally a team that I would expect to be in playoff contention again this season, in my opinion. But we all know how hard it's going to be. And, there's a few clubs out there signing some players. So I think we're going to give them a very good run for their money.
See. I like Coventry. I think they'll do well this season. So
great team. A very historic club, steeped in tradition, and have a great fan base.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think they're going to be obviously a very hard team to get the 4 points off, in my opinion, because I think if you get 4 points off a team, I call that a success.
Yeah. Speaking of fans of Coventry, I know he likes to pass himself off as a huge Wrexham fan, but our buddy Rousey, he's a Coventry fan, and don't let him tell you any different, people. Don't let him.
He is. You're right.
He was. I believe he was born. I know he lived in Coventry. I'm pretty sure he was born in Coventry. I'd have to double check with him with that. So before they moved to Australia when he was young, but he followed Coventry when he was young. I think most of our listeners probably know some of that, but I always like to give him a hard time about it, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think, here's a team that, I mean, we'll obviously every team we talk about now is obviously playoff or league contenders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Except for, no, I'm going to say all of them. I think even, Leicester, we've got to get to Leicester next week. Let's see. But yeah, I think that's a fair comment. So
I know where you're going with that, and I think even with the deductions, I think there's still a threat. They're gonna be right up in there.
That's fair. Yep. So
yeah, I was quite surprised when I was looking back at their history in the last 15 seasons or so. Like it's a lot worse than I thought.
Me too, Paddy. I did the deal. Yeah.
I was like, really? So yeah, they've only been back for 5 seasons, and 16 to 12th, 5, 9, 5. Now they've stabilized as a top championship team, and they still can't seem to kind of get that breakthrough. So once again, this is one of those teams that I think are getting a lot of credit for being this amazing championship team, but yet they're not. They're a very good, solid championship team, but not over such a huge, long history. So yeah, that surprised me a little bit, actually. Now they are solid. They'll be tough. They could be in the playoffs again. I don't think they have a shot at top 2, really. Not realistically. But they could certainly have a shot through the playoffs again this season.
It is funny, isn't it? Because I just thinking about that now. When you sit back and you think, these are good teams. I mean, there's 24 teams in this league. And only 2 of them get automatic promotion. And you have 3 teams coming down with parachute payments that probably expect to bounce straight back up. Yeah. So, there's 21 teams in the championship that aren't out of the Prem. So there's, 3 that went down, and there's 3 that have come up from League One with aspirations, and some of them with very lofty aspirations. Read here, Birmingham City. And then you go, well, it's actually really hard to view it as true contenders to go up because it's really hard to do.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard to do.
But yeah, Paddy, I'm with you on that because when I look back through that history and I went, hang on a second, like they spent 2 years in League One and a year in League Two where they automatically bounce back up. But they're prior to that in League One went in reverse order 23rd, 8th, 17th, 18th, 15th. You know, not exactly special.
Yeah.
But that's a long time ago, and those players really no longer exist in this club. So it's not fair to think about that. You got to think about really the maximum last 3 seasons. Yeah. And to be fair, and that is 5th, 9th, and 5th. So, you know, they're there or thereabouts. So
this season.
Yeah, I think that's that probably covers it for Coventry. I reckon we might move right along because this is a team I think tripped at the finish line.
They did. Just before I hit that, I have one more thing to say, which is the manager watch for Coventry.
Frank Lampard, yeah.
Frank Lampard. I think he is one to watch if they start having a bad season. I
would argue though.
Go on.
That if you look at their recent history, their owners have shown that they're willing to stick with a manager.
Yep.
So I think their previous manager was there like 8 seasons or something like that, or maybe more. I can't remember. Yeah. Now he was successful, and so that's obviously that's part of it. I think it depends on how where they really setting their sights this season. But I wouldn't. They don't strike me as the type that would pull the trigger. If they're, let's say they get off to a tough start, maybe they're around 17th or so. Not in the relegation zone, but they're not having a great season. You know what I mean? After you get into October and then they're not doing well. They don't strike me as a type that would be like, you know what, we need to make a change. I think they'd stick it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Mark Robbins came in when they were down in League Two. Got them promoted straight back up to League One.
Yeah.
2 years in League One, they won the league. Like they finished 8th and 1st, and then spent the rest of his time with them
climbing
in the championship.
So championship, right?
Absolutely a successful manager. And I think that now they had a quick interim and then straight across to Frank Lampard last season and mid-season, and now it's going to be his turn now to see if he can do exactly what Mark Robbins did and take them up a league. Well, Mark Robbins took them up 2 leagues, but to take them up and get that final push back into the Prem.
Yeah, and this is the problem with expectations, I think, for managers in the Championship. Is now they're at a high level. Mark Robbins left them at 5th, basically, in the Championship. And now it's swapped back to Lampard. And he's done 5th already. So the expectation, I think, is playoffs. And if he's badly below that, I actually think the more worrying thing for why you would swap manager is Lampard's record. I don't think he has an amazing record behind him to say, keep trusting me.
And again, Paddy, that's the same story though, isn't it? I mean, like he's managed in the Prem, and it doesn't get more brutal than that. For managers, like you don't perform, you're gone. And he was, Chelsea, Everton, I mean, they're big clubs. They're very big clubs with high expectations.
To be fair to Frank, I think he did. You got to give him credit for what he did last season with Coventry, because they were at the bottom of the table. They were towards the bottom of the table, and he turned them around and made them a playoff team. And so, while there's questions to his CV, about his CV previously, I think you got to be fair to him, give him his chance, let him build his squad. I don't know. I mean, have they made? How many did you say that they bought, or did you? 3. So they haven't done a ton.
They've bought 2 and got 1 on loan. They've not done a lot of business yet.
And they may have some outgoings too. I know they've got a couple. I think there were some rumors that Rodoni might be leaving. I don't know if that's still I don't think he's left yet, but I think there's rumor, and he was one of their better players last season. He might be getting a Premier League move. But I they've got a few players that are really good, and can they hang on to them? But I mean, yeah, you would expect them to spend a little money though, and get some players. I mean, I don't know what their financials are, what their financials are like, but you would think they do a little bit more than that. But maybe not though. You finish in the playoffs. You finish in the playoffs. You got to expect that squad should be able to do something similar. Maybe a couple improvements. Obviously, if Rushworth works out in goal, then that's an improvement that helps there.
Yep. And if they're competitive all the way through to Christmas, and then they go spend money in January.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fair.
And I think they'll be competitive. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know.
Think they're a player quality team, but there's a lot of them.
I'll be honest. I gave, and this goes back to Rousey again. I gave him all kinds of shit when they hired Lampard. I mean, I gave him all kinds of shit, and then of course, then he did a really good. You got to admit he did a really good job. So I kind of ate my words on that one, but well, I'll be honest. I was giving him a hard time because I thought I didn't think it'd work, but to his credit, he did what he needed to do with him, and so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I don't disagree with your comments. I'm just putting it out there because Championship be crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Championship be crazy, and high expectations for a team that if they don't achieve them, there'll be questions. It'll be interesting.
There's 24 clubs and only 132 manager changes each season.
I know. Yeah.
I think I can't remember what I was watching. It may have been it may have been a second tier podcast or something. It was one of the podcasts. It may have been Ben Bloom, somebody like that was talking about it. And they said, if you average it out over like the last few seasons, maybe 2 or 3 seasons, like every 2 weeks, a manager gets fired. If you averaged it all the outgoings out, it's nuts. It's freaking nuts, man. So
yeah. Okay, well, let's move on. We're 22 minutes in. Let's move on. Sheffield United. Paddy.
Okay, on to the Blades is their nickname. Sheffield United Football Club from Brown. Where is shit? My notes. I'm lost. I'm tired. Okay. Sheffield United were forged in 1889 as an offshoot of Sheffield United Cricket Club. Once again, cricket is involved in football. Starting out in South Yorkshire, steel capital of England, born at the Adelphi Hotel, which is a common name in the UK, actually. They joined the Football League Second Division in 1892, and they became the first team to win promotion to the First Division in 1892-93. That's a nice little record for them. Distance from Wrexham Bramall Lane is only 18 miles from the racecourse, so no private jets to get us there this season. It's about an hour and a half drive on the M56 motorway. The nickname the Blades is obviously a nod to the Sheffield's cutlery making legacy. And they have red and white stripes, which is part of that history as well. Cooking. Okay, once again, history, Wrexham. We have not been head-to-head with them too much, although the FA Cup is the most recent matches we've been playing against them. So in 83-84 FA Cup first round, where United thumped Wrexham 5-1. And then in the 24-25 season, just this season, Sheffield United were in the playoff finals. While Wrexham were in League One. Okay, that was weird. Okay, local derbies. It's called the Steel City Derby and is against Sheffield Wednesday. So a 2-team city, and is one of the fiercest clashes of a derby in the country. This has been known for a long, long time. Other rivals include Leeds United, and then you have Barnsley, Doncaster, and Rotherham. So they have a lot of teams that they have fun with, but most of them are below them at the moment. And from a little bit of history, they also have a little bit of a grudge with Nottingham Forest. And this stems from not football, but mining. In the 1980s, there was a mining strike, and Yorkshire miners went on strike, and Nottingham's didn't. So just some history there on the Maggie Thatcher as to why they don't like each other, which is not that common. Normally, it's about the football. They have plenty of trophies over the years. FA Cup wins 4, 1899, 1902, 1915, and 1925, long time ago, and then different divisional championships as well. Okay, so the stadium, my notes keep moving. Sorry. Bramall Lane. It's telling me here world's oldest major football stadium still in use since 1889. Okay, that's interesting. 32,702 seats. Is a cauldron of red and white passion in Sheffield's centre. They like to sing the song Sweet Caroline. It's the steel heart of Yorkshire football, apparently. Okay, bit of history with manager changes in the last couple of seasons. They had Chris Wilder, who has just left in interesting circumstances. He got them to third last season with 92 points, I think it was. 90 points, which is a huge total not to get automatic promotions. Ended up in the playoffs and lost in the final to Sunderland, who went up. Now, that is basically after one season with Chris Wilder, and they decided to let him go. New owners came in and are looking to have more control over the players that are bought. He's not their man. He talks up too much, apparently, for their liking. So he is out. And can that be a mistake? So they have just come down from the Prem the previous season. So they have third last season, then 20th in the Prem, then second in Championship and fifth, and then back up in the Prem, getting relegated down again. So they are a bouncing club, and this season are on a second year of parachute payments. So they have money this season. They have new owners. I'm sure the new owners want to get them back into the Prem and maybe invest more once they get up there to try and stay. They hired
Ruben Sellers, Paddy. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. So Ruben Sellers then. Well, just before we hit Sellers. So before Wilder, we had Heckingbottom since 21-22. Jokanovic was in there for a short period of time, and then Heckingbottom previously for 10 matches as well, and Wilder before him. So they have been going back and forth between different managers and have made a few changes, but not ridiculously a lot of changes. So now they have Ruben Sellers, who has swapped over from Hull, which was not a great team, but as we know, they have a lot of problems in their club. So do you blame them on Sellers? No, not really. Does he deserve a shot? Yeah. With one of the best teams in the league, he's going to have to achieve immediately with this team.
He's got 2 weeks, according to Aaron, because that's when the manager gone.
So, yeah, this is an interesting one. Can he come in? Can he work with the owners under a new system and get everybody playing together in a second season of parachute payments? This is massive target on his back here. Will they be quick to dump him? Maybe not. You know, new owners, they might give him the entire season, but owners are quick to blame the manager when things are going wrong with their own system. And because it's their system, I doubt they're going to blame themselves on this one. So that is definitely a watch for me. Now, what have they done so far? They have brought in 4 players. So Eche Ukaki, Tyler Binden, who people may know, Louis Barry, is an interesting one, and Mikhail Polendakov. So two on. Oh, Louis Barry's on loan.
Yeah.
I thought they bought him, actually. So a Louis Barry loan for them. That's a weird one. What do you think of that?
I think they're going to have some outgoings up front, and
I think there's going to be some late signings for these guys. I wouldn't be surprised to see.
I think he's
like.
I see him as cover for some outgoings.
Yeah. So with the new system, I didn't actually say this. The new owners want someone who, as a manager, they can control because they're taking it upon themselves. They are essentially going to be choosing the players coming in, and the new manager is going to be a coach. So they are going to be using their systems and their spreadsheets and their point system, picking out players that are good value. Now, a good idea. Teams have done it before. You can make a lot of money doing this. You can find an amazing team for cheap if you can do it right. And that's the difficulty. If you can do it right.
It can go both ways. It can go very sour.
Absolutely go both ways, this one. So I'm really interested to see what they do this season. I doubt they'll go so bad that they won't be severely in contention for playoffs, but a low-end playoff spot will potentially be a bad result for them. Now, I guess that depends on your mindset because any position in playoffs gets you a shot. So depends on what you think there yourself. But they're one to watch for me. This is an interesting team. They could fall off here. They could fall off. And how badly, that remains to be seen. So I'm interested with this one. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes for them. I think the manager is the biggest question mark. Though I think it'll be good. You know what I mean? I think it'll be fine. Mm-hmm. I don't know. The ownership worries me. Also, just the way they're going about things. They seem like the type of ownership that'll pull the plug real quick. I think if he starts to struggle, he'll be out in a hurry.
Yeah, they were well and truly the best of the rest last year, behind Leeds and Burnley, who got 100 points. They finished on 90 points, 14 points clear of fourth place. Literally, they were just obviously not good enough to make the top two and favourites to get promoted and fell at the last hurdle, to Sunderland. So, no one deserves to be promoted, but they definitely had the runs on the board to get promoted. And they didn't do it. And, if, like Paddy says, it doesn't quite – well, I'm not saying Paddy said it, but if it doesn't – he hinted it. If it doesn't go quite right, they could slip down the table a little bit. I'm not saying – I still think they'll make playoffs, but they could finish fifth or sixth, and that puts them in a lot of pressure.
Yes. I know. I see what you're doing there, Scott. But I'm going to be honest. I don't think they'll notice he's gone.
Yeah, before we actually, we'll dive down that hole just a little bit. But before we do that, now just to talk about Chris Wilder.
They do have a centre back that I wanted, Paddy, in Harry Suter.
No, he was on loan. He was on loan to them. He's not there.
He was too. That's right.
He went back to where is he at? Was it Leicester? I don't remember. I can't remember where he's.
But I wanted him for our team.
Yeah, he was on loan.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, Chris Wilder. So Chris Wilder was let go, and as of now, he has not got another team. So for me, this is an interesting one. He is going to be a looming shadow over the championship in my mind for what teams are going to pull the trigger early this season. And are they a big enough team to convince Chris Wilder to come in and take over from them? So he is a ready manager of high quality, available, sitting there just watching which team is going to screw up badly and do I want to take them over?
Sitting at the pub having a pint, waiting for the call.
Yeah. And maybe saying, no thanks, I'll wait for the next one.
Yeah. You guys are crazy. Wait for look. Well, like Aaron said, he's only got to wait every 2 weeks. He should get a call.
Yeah. No, I think I'll wait a little longer. I like sitting in my garden, drinking my beer, watching some matches until he gets the right team.
He's in the south of Spain on the beach.
And actually, do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it was almost the other way around. Maybe he's sitting in the pub making phone calls to the owners saying, "Are you sure you're happy with your results? Are you sure? Because I'm here."
Very, very, very good point, Paddy. Very good point. I think this is so. I mean, what predictions for them this year? What do you think?
Oh, playoffs.
Playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs, and if they can pull things together, they have a shot at top two. They have a shot at it if everything works well. But I think playoffs.
They were the best of the rest. They were the best of the rest last season.
Yeah, I don't think
points,
they'll take
20 points is a very good season.
Lots of people are predicting them top two. I don't see it myself. I think playoffs.
If there was a team that could underperform, this could be the one. A team that we would expect to be in the top two race, but end up underperforming and possibly missing out on the playoffs. Maybe because Birmingham or even Wrexham have a good run and get up into the playoffs, knock somebody out.
Birmingham's going to win.
That could be. I could see, just because the way things are being done. Seems like a lot of times when teams they go to that way of operating, it gets weird and the things don't work out quite. Because weren't they the team? They were the team that's going to be going to AI type stuff, right? Weren't they the team that was going to be using AI for recruiting and stuff? And which I know that was kind of that's a buzzword type. I'm sure they're doing
my point on it. It's a buzzword. It's essentially a fancy spreadsheet,
right? But what I think sometimes when you, I don't know. For me, I think I like a manager being more involved in getting the players he wants. And I think that works better. I think it's just to give the guys, say, hey, this is what you got, make it work.
Yeah. AI data analysis, however which way you want to spin it, can get you a squad. When it comes down to the 65th, 70th, 80th minute of a game, that's your manager and your players.
Well, and that's okay. We make a big deal about Parky's dickhead test and the fact that we've got such a good locker room. When you're going off of stats,
doesn't exist.
That type of stuff doesn't really play into it. And so you could have a group of guys that could be great players that don't like each other and don't get along, and that causes a weird dynamic. Weird things happen, man. I'm not saying it's not a bad idea. I think it can work, and there's places that have proven it can work. Just for me, now I'm not predicting. I think they're going to finish in playoffs. But I think if there was a team that we were expecting to be at the top end that could drop out, I think they could be that team.
Well, this is an interesting comment. I'm just wondering whether John has just done a little typo. And does he mean West Bromwich Albion, or has he missed the N? Is he expecting Wilder to head off to the Women's Basketball League at the WNBA?
WNBA. Yeah.
I don't know, but who knows?
Yes. The trick with the WNBA is you just got to have Caitlin Clark on your team, and you're really good. That's the trick with the WNBA.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I think that's a really good cover of Sheffield United, because they should be in the playoffs. My opinion is now, and I joke with John about Birmingham, but I actually think Birmingham's overtaken them in terms of a squad now. And I think that, so they should be shorter odds to finish ahead of them. And then you've got, 3 teams coming down from the Prem, one which is going to have to give everybody a little bit of a head start. But the other two, holy dooly, parachute payments, unbelievable squad. You're going to make it hard for this sort of team to get auto promotion. So their more realistic hope is make the playoffs and win that crapshoot.
Yeah. So John put a comment up there. They don't run AI recruitment, but we do full analysis recruitment. Davies doesn't get involved too heavily. Yeah, I think a lot of teams are essentially like that, but how much it's a case of the backroom staff identifying players and then speaking with a manager of, okay, who do you think suits, and working together and doing a mix of both. That varies from club to club to club. So it is the manager's responsibility then to form a locker room where everybody can get along. And there's lots of different ways of doing that. Like, you can do that as, I don't give a crap if you like each other. You come in here, you do your bloody job. That's one way of doing it, and it might work for some teams. For others, you have to create the environment that they want to play for each other. So different teams, different ways of working. Chris Davies seems to be able to do it quite well. He's a good motivator of people. But yeah, like we've seen lots of Prem teams where the players are so big that they screw around with managers then. So you have to balance everything there. It's an interesting one. It's a dynamic that's going to get more and more important, I think, as owners take more and more control and they stop being managers and start being backed coaches.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. John's mentioning obviously about Birmingham having how strong their recruitment team is. Yeah. And that is one of their obviously great strengths. But I mean, we're not about them today. We're about Coventry, Sheffield United, and now the bottom team in the Premiership last year, Southampton. Aaron, what do you got for us?
Southampton. So Southampton Football Club. Their nickname is the Saints. They were founded on November 21st, 1885. And it was as St. Mary's is what they were called at the time. Their ground is called St. Mary's Stadium. It's a capacity of 32,384. The chairman is Dragon Solak. Manager Will Still. I'll go into him real quick. A little background on Will Still. He just got. This will be his first season in England as a manager. So he's a young guy. I think he's let's see. We'll double check. 32. He's 32. So he's young manager. So he basically was an assistant / video analyst / scout for a long time, up until the 2017-2018 season, and that would make him he was like 26 or something at the time. Basically the manager of the team that he was at left, and they didn't really have a replacement, and so they just threw him in there because he was there and he was familiar with the team. And that was at Liers. I'm not sure. I'm going to struggle with these names because he's been in France and Belgium. He was born in Belgium, but his parents were from England originally. Or at least he lived in Belgium. He grew up in Belgium. He may have been born in England, but his parents were from England, but he grew up in Belgium. So then after that job, he went back to being the assistant manager. Then made another move to Beershot, became their manager in 2021. Then made a move to Stade Reims, and then Standard Liège, and then finally back to Stade Reims, becomes manager for a season. Then to Lens in 24-25. He managed 37 games there. and then on to Southampton. So, he's a young guy, kind of all over the place, in France and Belgium, jumped around a little bit. He's kind of a name. It's funny. You'll hear players of the game Football Manager like to bring up Will Still, because he apparently, when he was younger, really loved playing the game Football Manager. So, and apparently he was really good at it, and people like to make a big deal about that. I don't know if there's anything to that or not, but I figured I'd mention it. But yeah, so as far as in the EFL, not a ton of experience, but he's got a lot of experience in Europe. So we'll see how he does. His style is very it can change. He's not afraid to be a team that will hold on to the ball if he feels like he needs to, but he's also not afraid to give the ball up if he feels like that's what it takes to win. So he's very very in between. He's not devoted to one style of play. He'll do whatever he thinks will be better will work the best for them in that particular game. I watched a YouTube video with him kind of going through that and talking about how he goes through stuff. And that's just how he looks at it. He goes game by game, and whatever he thinks works the best is how they're going to approach that game. So yeah, that's a bit interesting. So back to Southampton. So main rival is Portsmouth. It's the South Coast Derby. They're 19 miles apart, which is why that is their big derby. So they'll have two of those this season when they play each other. Now, the thing with Southampton, most of these teams that we've talked about are teams that you would consider championship or below teams generally. I think that's fair to say. All the teams we've covered. This is the first team that we've got to. I think it's fair to say this is a Premier League team. This team should be playing in the Premier League. From if I counted correctly, and I think I did, I'm quick double check. Since the Premier League came into being in it was the 92-93 season. Since it's been the Premier League, they've only been outside of the Premier League 6 seasons. Okay. They are a Premier League team. They've spent most of their time in, first division. Before that, it's all first division. I think they had a handful of games in the second division. As far back as Transfermarkt goes, it doesn't show them outside of the top 2 divisions, but mainly a first division team.
Yep, and 12 of the last 13 seasons in the Premier League.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. They're a Premier League club. I think that's fair to say. So to say, they want to get back to the Premier League would be a massive understatement, I think. I think they would expect to get back up. I think most people, most pundits would agree with that they should be, fighting for that top 2. So we'll see. I mean, I think a lot of it's going to land on Will Still, what he does. As far as transfers, from what I could find, I did a quick search. So sorry if I missed any, but looks like the main ones, Damian Downs, 21-year-old center forward. He's American, for 8 million euros. And then Joshua Corshi, 20-year-old center back, signed for 3.5 million. Satura Kake, a midfielder. I don't have the details on him. So let's see. They had a handful of loan players that they had on loan left the club. And then I think they had a couple that were out on loan, obviously come back. They'll probably go back out on loan. So yeah, they're they've done a little bit of business. I don't think they've done a ton, but they've definitely got money to spend. I do think that they're going to be a team that will spend big here soon. Maybe when some of the players that are kind of the in-betweeners, whether they're going to be playing in the Premier League or playing in the Championship, once that filters out, I could see them I could see them making moves then and trying to make some big signings and getting some big players in to try to get back up to the Premier League. See, was there anything else I had? Oh, yeah. So let's go to their history and honors. So they were, as far as league goes, they were first division runners-up one season, the 1983-84 season. For the second division or / championship, they were runners-up in the 65-66 season, the 77-78 season, 2011-2012 season, and they were playoff winners in the 23-24 season. And then some of these other ones, it goes way back. So League One, runners up in 2010-11. Is that right? That ain't right, is it? They weren't in League One in 2010-2011, unless I missed that. I think that's a typo. Maybe it's 1910, 1911, I bet. But it says 2010. Champions in 1921-22 and 1959-1960. And then they were champions of the Southern League in the 1800s 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. They won the FA Cup in 75-76. Runners up in the FA Cup 1899-1900 season, 1901-02 season, and the 2002-2003 season. The League Cup runners up 78-79 and the 2016-2017 season. Football League Trophy winners in 2009-10. And then the full members Cup in the 91-92 season runners up. So that's kind of what they've done. They are it's a big club. They're a massive club. Like I said, this is probably one of the few teams that will play that you would. They're a Premier League side. This is a Premier League team. They should be playing in the Premier League.
And we get them week 1 away.
Yeah, right off the bat. Right off the bat. Now, here's the thing, though. That could be a good thing.
We're expected to lose, so it's no harm.
No, yeah, it's a free hit for us. Know what I mean? It's a free hit for us. But we'll be going into it. They'll have a new manager trying to put in new ideas. Week 1, there's a chance maybe they're not quite ready. Let's be honest. They're probably going to be smashing us. I think, they're going to be a good team. They had a terrible season last season, but what they're up against.
That's this guy trying to play his team's chances down. He's just trying to just turn the dial down. What a pussy! Are you a fan or not a fan of your own club?
Well, we know Ken's big massive, Birmingham fan. Ken's a big Birmingham fan, so maybe he's a bigger Birmingham fan than John. Maybe that's what.
I'm just setting him up for failure. They don't win the championship. Their season's a bust.
There you go. If we keep saying it, maybe at some point people will believe it.
So good. So no. But look, what an interesting. The conversations each week has just gotten tougher and tougher and tougher in terms of when you're talking about quality of teams, and we're not done yet. We've still got 2 other demoted teams.
Oh. I remember the other point I was going to say. It was I forgot to say how far they were. They are, according to my
as far as you can
maps. According to Apple Maps, where did it go?
Way down the bottom.
Yep, they're way down at the bottom end. It says here the quickest drive. It's 3 hours 41 minutes, and it's 217 miles, and that's from the race course to St. Mary's. So
they'll be flying down, I think. And
it's
I'd
say the boys will fly down for sure. Yeah, the team will fly down for sure.
Right next to Bournemouth.
Yep, it is right down there.
Yeah. So look, it's going to be a I mean, I'm so excited for the start of the season. I just can't wait. Look, we are literally 15 days away, people.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You know what? Here's the one good thing about playing them in the first season, or the first game of the season, is we'll have a pretty damn good idea where we're at. You know, if we're anywhere near it, you know.
Well, I mean, look, with all our signings, we're going to be rusty as well.
I think so too. I think people are going to have to give us some time, give Parky some time, get this team to gel, because we're going to have a lot of guys coming in, and I think a lot of, especially with the injuries we got in the midfield, I think a lot of those guys are going to be starting, you know, week one. I mean, let's be honest. There's a legitimate chance that all 4 of the players that we've signed this week are starting on week one. I know maybe it's a stretch with Thomason, but with the injuries, there's a chance. There's a possibility. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So back to Southampton. Yeah. Where are they going to finish, boys?
Number 2. I think they're taking the second spot.
Oh, okay.
That's very possible.
Yeah.
Definitely playoffs. I don't see any shot that they'll fall outside the playoffs.
I don't think so.
You know, that's just
come on, Paddy, pin a spot to the wall. Come on.
Third.
I was going to say 4th. So there we go. Like, we all think they're going to be way up there. I just think there's a couple of other teams with more quality, which is scary to say, that are going to finish above them.
Couple?
Yeah, 3. 3 teams. So I've tipped them for 4th. I think there's 3 teams that'll finish above them.
Who are the 3 teams?
Well, Birmingham's going to win the league.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then Ipswich behind them. Who gets third? Who gets third? Wrexham?
No, I don't think so.
I'd
like to say so. I mean, look, as scary as it sounds, a team like Leicester could just pass them.
They really could. Yeah. Even with the points, you just never know.
Even with a dozen points, like, it's scary. That would be an absolutely massive season, but you can't say they can't do it. You know, But anyway, and then you've got teams like Sheffield United. You've got, you know, I mean, who knows? Coventry could go and sign a couple of great team players, but I don't think so. But there's my 3 teams that I think will finish ahead of Southampton, which means there's only 5th and 6th left for the playoffs.
God, there's not much room up there. There is not much room up there.
It's going to be such a great season. And look, I am so excited to be in this league. I mean, the quality of football we're going to get to watch this season. Yeah. So, well, Matt, we'll see if it's more than 12 points. Nothing's been confirmed yet. So, yeah. I mean, okay. So, well, I mean, Paddy's already done his whole review on Lewis O'Brien with Josh earlier today. If you haven't watched that, go back and watch that show. Did you have anything you wanted to say on that, Aaron?
I mean, no, I basically agree with everybody. I will say this. John came on with you guys, and he felt like, I heard him say he felt like he viewed O'Brien as a number 6 holding type midfielder. And I kind of disagree. And I was watching a lot of, you know, the last few days I've been watching a lot of just videos, and it seems like he plays more of an 8 to me. I think he plays further forward. And I would see him playing that for us. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But to me, I could see him playing the 8 role. But I'm real excited, though. He's a very high-level player. I think if you watch some of his highlights from Huddersfield, he was classy. I mean, he was good. He was really good. I think there's a chance now that he's come to us. He's got a chance to get settled, and he can get comfortable in the way we play. I think he can get good. I also don't think it's a I don't think it's an accident that he went to Swansea on loan last season, and all of a sudden they started playing really well. Now, obviously, that's not all him, but he played really well for them, and I think having him in their midfield made a big difference for them. So that makes me feel good. I think he's a good. He'll be a great player, no matter where he plays for us. No matter where he plays in the midfield, he's an upgrade on whatever we have. I think he's immediately probably our best midfielder.
Here's the thing for me, Aaron. Our weakest, where we've let ourselves down, I think, a bit, is we haven't been able to supply our strikers enough good quality balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
This is the sort of player that will do that.
Yep.
So it can only be upside in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
It depends how serious we are going this season, because you can say you would put him in instead of Matty James and have him in the deep role. That's fine and an obvious thing to do. But what if we haven't gotten our player to cover James yet? If we actually bring someone else
in,
who is an absolute defensive mid, and then you play both. That's a potential as well. So we'll see exactly how serious we're going and how many more we bring in.
How many more you reckon, boys? Like, Paddy, what do you think? 3 more yet? Or
yeah, we've done 6. I think we'll hit another 3.
Okay.
I think 2
maybe
or 3.
4.
2 or 3. Here's my only issue with that, Pat. I think we could. I do wonder if we do get to a point where the club's just not willing to bring that many players in until we get some players out. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they care about players going out.
I feel like at some point they may have to, because because all that I know we can afford it this season, but that may hurt us down the road. Carrying all those extra wages for PSR reasons. We're not that close right now. We're absolutely not. But in 3 or 4 years, if we've not made it out of the championship, we'll be closer. And if we get on that 3rd year and we spend a year and we carried 3 or 4 players.
Okay, local pundit fans, go and get your Wrexham memberships. Let's get their revenue up.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, obviously this season is not
I've got my international membership already.
But I'm just thinking, like, if you think ahead, it's still, even if we can afford it, it's not a wise thing to do.
Well, there you go. Esteban, what do you think? Do you guys think that some players have already been spoken to and are expecting to be released or not registered?
Yeah, some.
Oh, absolutely.
Some should have been told by this stage that, look, unfortunately, you're not in our plans this season.
Yeah,
I reckon some of them might have been told stuff we were down under, and it was a performance review time for those 3 games. And if you didn't cut the mustard, there was going to be some hard conversations. So, yeah, I think we're going to see in the next 2 weeks a couple of more players.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. And that's just the reality of professional sport.
Yeah, so John says here, I'd say it's more having unhappy players in the building. You want them out and gone ASAP. They won't be there. If they're not part of the 25, they're not going to be there. And John knows this from Birmingham as well. Players have been freezed out and basically told, look, you're not part of the first team. You're not training with first team. End of. Sorry. They are like Birmingham compared to us. They are the in your face. We sign great players. If you're not good enough, like, we'll move you on. Compared to Wrexham's touchy-feely, friendly atmosphere. So, but they won't be with the team. And this is where the harsh reality comes in. They'll be moved. They'll be moved on whether they're getting paid or not. It's simple.
Yeah.
Lots of people keep bringing that up, and for me, it's something I don't even contemplate, because you're not going to be in the changing room. You're not going to be shit talking. You know what I mean? You're not going to be involved in any of this. unless you're in the 25. Well, once you list that 25, that's it. You're done and dusted.
The other players that are still around are the opposition training squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they won't even be that if they're bitching and moaning. That's my point. You know what I mean? They won't even be included. Yeah. So
whereas, yeah. So it will be very interesting to see who is in that 25 squad, and if Parky's kept any of the under 21 guys in there to bolster it right up, that will be interesting. And he nearly always, like in his whole career at Wrexham, has kept a spot spare.
Yeah. One thing I was about to say there about the number of people coming in is we might have three major players, two to three major players still coming in, expected to be first team type. But what we haven't done so far is we have not brought in anyone young.
No.
And
Alan Beck conversations has gone quiet, obviously.
Yeah. But I don't. It won't even be a loan for me. Is what I'm just considering here. Is if they're a loan, they count in the 25. So if you want to bolster your team and have extra cover in areas that you maybe don't have two available, is you can go out there and try and buy a 20-year-old who is a free season, and give them the opportunity to come and be part of the squad. And
you got to spend for a player like that because you're buying potential.
Yes, but we need to do that at some point anyway.
Yeah, or develop potential. Yeah, that's your two options.
Or develop potential. So what's 2 million? You know what I mean? Just to get someone in the door as cover. Yeah. But in fairness, we spent 700 on Mo Fall. Everybody likes kicking the crap out of him. So we're up another level. We're up another league. What is buying in two players? Between 1.5, 2 million each, and having potential and having some extra cover and some extra depth in an area that we might need it, if they assume we need it, and if it doesn't work out, that's fine. Next season, they're having a whole season to develop, and maybe they can break in next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're speaking all the right words in my mind. I've got no issues with that at all.
Yeah. But Scott says loan market is always later in the window. I don't think we're going to have any loan players.
Yeah, we talked about it early in the off season, saying that we want to get loan players this season. But Parky has never traditionally been a loan manager, and we're saying this year might be the year, but it doesn't look like it's on the horizon.
I remember when they did that interview with him, and they were talking. Everybody made a big deal about how he was talking about the loan market. I saw it completely different what everybody else saw it. Everybody else was excited because he was talking about the loan market. But if you actually read what he said, he basically went through all the reasons why you don't want a loan player and the issues with it. He said it in a nice way, and so it kind of sounded like he was talking positively. But really, he was saying, if you get a loan player, you're forced to play him. You may not get that player back at the end of he listed the reasons why you don't while he was talking about looking into loan players. So I think for the right guy, but also
but here's the question. Where in our team do we have a space that we can fill with a loan player and guarantee them a spot?
It depends on who's available. Here's the thing. If you get a player, if you get a high level, there will be some high level Premier League players. Yeah. Or they're not high level in the Premier League, but high level players that are at Premier League clubs, and there's 2 weeks left in the window. They're gonna the club says, you know what, we're gonna put you out on loan, and that may be they could come into our squad and become the best player. Those are if we get a loan, it will be someone like that.
Yeah, it will be. And that's part of the point here is it'll have to be someone really high level to take a spot. And that balance is quite difficult to have. It really is, to trust someone coming in. But it may happen, but that's the only way. I don't think we have any sort of mid-level loan here that we have a position missing that we'll fill with a loan.
And to Aaron's point, like you go and get a high quality loan player from the Prem, and he's turned your team around. He's going awesome. In January, you're probably losing. Like the club's looking at him, his team's looking at him going, yep, he's doing the job. He's doing exactly what we expected him to do. And we just got an injury in that spot. We'll take him back. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And this is one that keeps coming up. Wayne Evans, youngsters who don't count in the 25 makes perfect sense. Quality ones, obviously. With regards to buying a player, yes, but you have to buy them. Loan players do count either way. So you can't get a young player as a loan and have it not count.
Yeah.
Just to be clear for some people there. I was thinking the other day as a joke on Discord, if you must buy a loan player, why don't you just buy the loan player with a buyback clause and then just sell him back at the end of the season to his to his team? That would be a way to get around it.
First option, a right of refusal.
Yeah.
And pencil something in that as long as he's getting the same wages and terms, the player can't refuse to go back to his home team. You can sign it off without their need.
Yeah, without them
intervening and asking for more money, and just do it that way.
Paddy's just become a contract law expert in the space of minutes. It's great.
Here's a perfect situation. Yeah, this actually makes sense. Okay, you mentioned him earlier, Harry Suter. What if they decide? Now, like I said, I don't remember who his parent club is. I think it's Leicester. What if they decide they're going to put him out on loan again?
Yeah,
I think that's a player you get because I think he makes us better. You know what I mean? Even on loan, I think that's a good get for us. So a player like that, or it's just someone like that. It doesn't have not necessarily him, but just players like that, or be the type of player that will be like, okay, yeah, that's a loan we would want to be looking at.
Yeah, I mean, he's Leicester City, so there you go. So he's our competition this year.
Yeah.
26 years old. He is one of the starting centre backs for the Australian national team. He's like 6'12", like he's huge, 198 centimeters.
6 foot and a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was massive. I remember he played for them in that cup game when we played him last season.
That's right. Yep.
I mean, he looked good.
And set pieces in attack. He comes up there as a target for headers.
Yeah.
He's really good. But there's lots of players, like not just him, like him, or other positions that we're talking about.
Nick, I believe Fergus Suter's a bit old. He's a bit old. I think his playing days were over in like 1870. He's referred. I don't know if anybody's watched the. I can't remember what it's called on. It's on Netflix. It's a good little show about one of the main characters. His name is Fergus Suter.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the first players to play. He was a professional player in English football. I think it was Blackburn paid him to come down and work in their factory, and he played for the. For their football team. Yeah, it's good. It's a good show. I can't remember the name of the show. Nick, what was the name of that show? It's really good. If anybody
the English Game.
English Game, yeah, great show. It's like what is it, like 8 episodes or something? It's like
it is very good actually.
It's very good. I really enjoyed it. I watched it and then I went back, told my wife, I was like, you should watch this with me. You'd really like this. I watched it again with my wife. So yeah, it's really good. I liked it a lot.
It's funny, actually. I'm just looking something up now, boys. Just give me a second.
Oh shoot. So who's next? Who we think's next? We taking bets? Who's next in? Who's next in? Who we getting?
Oh, as in signings?
Yeah, who we signing?
Kiefer Moore today.
Think it'd be Kiefer Moore comes in.
It seems to be. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's talk that one out.
It's Core.
It's kind of a. He's a good. It's just here's. You want to know my problem with Kiefer Moore? This is why I don't quite understand the Kiefer Moore. I know he's been a high level player, okay, and I know he fills a certain role, and it gives us a different look, okay, but we as a team, we've never given our strikers a ton of service. Even with the improvements we made, I still don't think we're going to get. We're not going to create a ton of chances. Okay, I don't think he's a player that's going to get a ton of chances. And if you look at his goal tallies in the past several years, so this past season he scored 6 in 30 matches. He scored 7 in 18 for Ipswich, which was actually a decent return. Then 2 in 13 games. 4 in 29 games the season before that. Cardiff, he scored 5 goals for them. And then before that, the season before that, he had his big season. He played 42 games for Cardiff and he scored 20 goals. So he had his big game, he had big season. He got his move to Bournemouth, and he's just gone downhill. And I don't know.
Do you think gone downhill is a statement? Like playing such quality teams?
I don't know. It's definitely, here's the thing. It's definitely it's an improvement on Palmer. But I know we were talking before the show. It just seems like we're going away from that. You know what I mean? That type of striker. And so is it? And
throw your counterpoint to that, Paddy, about possession and everything that you were saying before the show started.
Yeah, I mean, which one?
Well, if we don't get solid possession,
okay. Yeah, well, it's just reverting back to old school Parky, which is the full long ball and big man up front that worked so well. And if we're not getting possession, if we are getting broken down and can't play up the middle or through, especially the top end teams, to me it makes perfect sense for Parky's mindset. He kind of does it with the away matches. Okay, well, don't lose the away matches, get a single point. I think he's going to revert to that mentality against the very top teams. The top 3 or 4 teams is home or away, doesn't matter. These guys are too strong. If our plan A doesn't work, he'll go straight back to long ball. He'll have a solid defense. He won't attack until they have a break, and he'll fire long balls up there. Right? I see it as being a natural option to have first season.
Yeah, look, Tuesday, Sunday for me. For me, I like this signing. He fills a spot that will be required through the season. Does he blow my socks off and I got stars in my eyes? No. Is he better than what we have? Yes. So it's an improvement.
Yeah.
I guess this seems like it just seems like I don't know the right word, like a vanity sign. Like it's a sign. We don't need it. We absolutely don't need it.
We might need it.
Well, I don't know.
But
we don't know that we don't need it.
Well, we can hoof the ball up. We can hoof the ball up to guys we've already got. Smith. We hoofed the ball up to Smith last season.
Okay, yeah, but you know Smith is not the same as
hoof the ball up to Hardy. Hardy loves to get on the end of long balls. Get him a ball over the top, he'll go get on it. Yeah, he's not winning a header for it. I think he can win a header, but he would like to beat a player and go chase it down though. I think I would feel much better if we'd have already signed a center back. If we'd already signed a center back and then we were going in for Kiefer Moore, I'd be like, okay, yeah, we don't need it, whatever.
An extra, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't mind it. That's the thing. It's depth. I get it. I just don't. It just doesn't blow me away. Let me ask you this: if there's a younger player out there, maybe a 25-year-old that's 6'5" and is decent in the air. Maybe doesn't score a ton of goals, but can't. He's a big guy, big target. Would we rather go for a younger guy than a 32-year-old that's going to cost us a lot more money?
With championship experience, who can absolutely do it.
Yeah, look, I absolutely agree with what you just said, Aaron, and I think Wayne Evans is actually hitting that point on the head. Like, this is where I think both Ryan Hardy and Kiefer Moore, you need more speed, because in the championship, the defenders have got plenty of speed to cover you off and block you off physically in defence. So, Kakache, Sam Smith, these sorts of guys are the sorts of guys that get through defences, not the Kiefer Moores and Ryan Hardys of this world. And
I think Hardy can do it. I wouldn't put Hardy with Kiefer Moore. I think they're completely different.
He does like a
Hardy will get on the shoulder and beat a guy. Hardy's fast enough to beat somebody.
Yeah, look, I like Hardy. Like, I'm not sort of trying to diss on him. I'm just saying, to beat defences with, sometimes to beat defences, you just need pure speed. And in fact, in the Tour Down Under, a couple of the teams they played against, when the young guys come on, literally just blitzed us with speed.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be, if we'll see. I mean, I don't hate it. It just seems like we could do. Seems like there's others out there.
Well, this way. Let's take the glass half full. We're doing business. We're making, signings and getting business done, and that shows intent.
If we were more worried about our transfer availability of money, then this is one I would have much more negativity to. I almost have more negativity to it simply because it's a spot on the team at the moment than like the cost involved. I agree it might be a little bit of vanity, but our squad is going to be tight. This
is the player that John's been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yusuf Salish played 20 games last season for Cardiff. In the championship, he scored 8 goals and had 1 assist. He's 6'5". He's 23 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not going for that player?
How much is he?
I mean, I don't know. He might cost a little more, but I bet you could get the wages down though. He might cost you on the front end, but his wage is going to be less than what Moore's is because he's 23.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why we don't go for a player like that.
Potentially the reason why we don't go play for a player like that is maybe Parky doesn't think he is absolutely ready to do it, and long term maybe he's getting rid of the role. If
he scored more goals than
right. Here's the thing we have to consider: we don't know what Parky's strategy is going to be. And if Parky's strategy in his head is still going to be 1-1 up front, then that position is becoming obsolete in our team. So why would you pay 5 to 8 million on someone you want to keep on your bench? Like this may be our plan B. It's not our plan A. He's not going to play.
All right. Well, let me say this then. You can't say we're worried about money, but then say we're willing to carry 6 players that ain't going to play for us. It doesn't. You can't say both. You can't say it's okay to keep.
What 5 or 6 players?
Keep all these. We can't. Well, we're talking
about. They're on League One money. They're not on massive championship money.
But it's still money. And if you add it all
money,
up,
but and 6 players become 2.
Right. Well,
loving it. You go, boys. I'm loving it.
Hey, 6 players could become 1, and his name is Yusuf Salish. And he shouldn't be playing in League One because he scored 8 goals in Championship last season. We should go get him from Cardiff just to boil their piss.
There we go.
But what do you do with a player like that if your plan A doesn't include him?
You play him as your plan. You play him as your plan B.
He won't be with us long.
Bring him on and kick him the ball. But here's the other thing too. But to be fair, I don't know this player, so I don't know what kind of speed he carries. You know, if he may have some speed to him. If he's 6'5" and he's got a little bit of speed, shoot. I mean, that's a great player. I mean, I'd look. Sam Smith at 6'5" would be great. And so if this kid's got some speed to him, and it's a big guy, can be a big target. Yeah, we'll play as a legit 9. Even in a 1-1, that still works. That's still not a bad. That's a good one. I don't know. That's just me. Like I said, I'm not completely against Kiefer Moore. It just seems like we could do better. I don't know.
I love the debate. I love it because this is the best part about being a football fan.
It's all opinions. It's all opinions.
Yeah, and I think you've made some really good points, Aaron and Paddy, some great counterpoints. I think there's a lot in that, and we don't know if he's going to work out and be great for us or not until we get into the season. Time will tell.
Mm.
He may score 10 goals for this season.
He may be our leading scorer.
Who knows? Look, we're in one of the toughest leagues on the planet. It's going to be great football. It's going to be fantastic. I just think that getting into these sorts of debates and, us dissecting all these teams that we're coming up against, has been a great little series. Mm-hmm. And it's just got me frothing at the mouth for the season to start. It really
So do I got? Who we've got? So we've only got the 2 left. So we've got
2 and Wrexham. We got Leicester.
We got
Ipswich.
Leicester and Ipswich. Who's got who? Do you remember?
Well, I know. I think I've got myself down to Wrexham. I gave myself the easy one. Although it's not that easy now because it's like, who the hell are we getting rid of?
Let me see. I've got it. I'll find it real quick. So I've got Leicester and Patty's got Ipswich.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. So what a great way.
Yeah,
to finish.
Maybe next week will be a good time to do a deep dive into the squad and start cutting it apart.
Yeah,
and try to get to a 25.
Yeah,
so
and see where we are.
So I'll go last next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't need to delve into Wrexham.
Yeah, you don't really need to.
It'll be cool. The distance from Wrexham to Wrexham is 0 kilometers.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So let's take that section and do a deep dive into the squad and cut the numbers down and see what we end up with. Because
where we end up with.
Yeah.
We likely have a new signing today.
Yeah.
For me.
We'll have a couple more new signings.
Might have something next week. Yeah, again.
7 days from now is a long time.
Here's the thing: you got to think they're going to get a center back in before.
Yes, yeah.
Before the season starts.
Yeah.
I love Dan Scarr. I think Owen O'Connell is very solid, but we need somebody better.
We were saying it was my comment. I fucked up when I put that comment earlier. I typed parking. I meant Scar, but I was saying Scar. For Plymouth in the championship, they deemed him not good enough. And so for a team that eventually gets relegated to deem him not good enough in the championship, it doesn't bode well. And he's playing the same, they were playing a back 3, so he's playing a similar position we're planning on playing him in. So whether or not you think he's better than O'Connell, I don't think that matters because I think the fact that they're both so close is the problem, because neither one of them are good enough at the championship level, and we need an improvement.
And this is why we're talking about Ferguson, Suter,
somebody like a Suter, somebody like that.
Like these types of guys, and these guys will be like Scar and EOC are basically the backup centre back.
Here's the thing: they can both play outside. Like O'Connell has played; he came in for us and was playing the right side. He could be a backup for us. Yeah. And Scar can too. Scar, I don't mind if we had to go to him in a pinch, but we need better in front of him. We need those two. I don't think we get rid of either one of them. I think they both would stay in the squad because I think
he's defense orientated.
I think they could keep both. I don't think you need to get rid of either one, but I think because here's the thing: you move Will Boyle.
But you do get rid of other players like Mendy.
Other players that can go whether on loan or whatever, and you can make room. But we definitely need one center back. I still worry about. And I think we talked about this the other night. I do worry about Max and
Brunt?
Brunt, yeah, because they haven't played at this level, and I hope we're not putting too much on them. I think they both can do it.
I'll tell you what, if they step up, Aaron, and do perform at this level, which I think they both have the ability to do, that will be fantastic for us this season.
Oh yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great. Just think what those two would be worth.
But if they
money-wise, oh man,
what was that, Paddy?
This is the danger, though. If they step up, what if they don't? Who is their cover?
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah. So
that's what worries me.
It's a danger.
So to me, I think you want
with a new centre back push out.
I think ideally we get two centre backs in.
Two. There we go.
I think ideally we get two.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Preferably if you can find a left footer. I don't know. Matt, I was talking about Rob Holding and Chris Mepham, which are apparently.
I'm available. I'm a left footer.
I don't know if either. I haven't looked into those two. I know Chris Mepham played. He played a lot for Sunderland this season. Had a really good year for Sunderland. I'd be really happy if we got Chris Mepham. Now they played a back two, so it's a little different. So I don't know what position we would play him in. But I know I watched him play several times. I like him a lot.
We're gonna be
hey, listen here.
We're gonna be
Kyogo better be ready because we're gonna wipe him out.
Kyogo is not the only player that'll be running out.
Our team. Naka is just gonna come in and just chop him.
Yes. We're gonna send our Irish fucker in there to wipe him out.
Hitman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
there we go.
Our defense needs.
Well, fuck. Glenda comes in here with the comment of the evening. Yes. That's likely. That's possibly true. Possibly true, Glenda.
Harsh, Glenda. Harsh.
It's harsh. It's hard. It's true though. He falls down way too goddamn much.
Guys, I've loved this series. We've got one more week to go.
Yeah,
it has been fun. If you haven't liked and subscribed, well, you've obviously subscribed because you remember to be watching the show.
Yes.
But like the video, 55 people in here. It's been great to go through this with everybody. And I'm loving the comments that we're getting in here too.
Yeah.
I think they've been fantastic. I mean,
these are fun shows because we can kind of, just have a little bit of fun. Not structured, but we can get silly if we want. No big deal. I like these.
Just remember, there's only one automatic spot left after Birmingham win the league. John, if you don't do it, it's a
failure. Yeah, massive failure if they don't win.
Massive failure. But I have fun with it. I've really enjoyed it. Guys, do you want anything else before we get out of here?
Oh, I'm good.
No, next week's going to be fun now. We're ripping apart this thing.
Yeah. New signings, multiple signings before next week.
Yes.
So stay tuned. There will be more shows coming. And I think that, we might as well call it. So, guys, on that bombshell, we'll see you all next time.